You know, a lot of you know my stance on reparations in Semine, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ne UN resolution in Sensamwa. You know, a lot of you know my stance on that already. Now, the reason some of you know my stance, and they say, most of you are framing. Emma, more framing, no, we've had a heated debate at year. We've had a heated debate on this because it looks like, surprisingly, there are a lot of Ghana for Wabroch here, or more supporting people like Manasseh Azure Kase, and Enyabro for no effort. The young Ghana for now for slavery, no, young effort. It's surprising, and I'm saying that based on Ghana for Afremia or more Kasa was same way so. Omo abroche dodo na no as omo supporting Manasseh Azure, and then Ghana for dodo na wa Ghana no. I don't know whether it has anything to do with the environment and all that, but in the name no, you know my stance, and I stand there. Me mamwati as say wa woka say Ghana for at fault na abrofo ne de omo anya hwe na eye ne at fault wa woka sa asem ni na no. Personally, I think you are wrong. I think you are oversimplifying the issue. And you are not understanding the bigger picture. What I say, and I still stand there. Now, they say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama also believes in that. You know, Uti and Semwa Mahama they are to you. Was say more supporters are the and Semwa Mokano infantile arguments. And Yamina Meka Mahama Neka or say infantile arguments. Now, Obronika say arguments be infantile. I say Semwa Mokana yaye in Kolasem. Because the infantile argument now infantile as a way akasa to say akola. Inti His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Samuel Walker no the internal workers ansem no yanko kenkan. Or say President John Dramani Mahama appears to have taken a swipe at award-winning investigative journalist Manasseh Azure Afenyo and other critics. Other critics of the demand for reparations to African countries over slavery, which was part of the United Nations resolution he, Mahama, championed. Even though the president did not directly name Manasseh Azure, the investigative journalist was among the first critics who said African countries do not deserve reparations because some Africans were complicit in the slave trade. And you see, hey, but this answer now. Hey, with this answer, I boil. Like, especially if you've read the story of Congo. The Belgium for Kokoye wo Congo omuchichicha wo monsa. Oh, Katram said they don't deserve any reparation, and I say because omuno mama Belgium for ne kwan se wo mombra kro ne so ntino. Victims say what or as I did to or more busuafo ne nyama, they don't deserve reparation. I mean, how can you even say something like that? Say any or teteno ahemfo no and the tongue microphobia. Inti and they say reparations no about the victims, so as the victims they don't deserve because ahemfo na the tongues angrofo ma brofo no. How are you even speaking like that? How? Africa does not deserve reparation because some Africans were complicit. So because some Africans were complicit, no, the entire Africa or the victims that were no, they don't deserve reparations because some of them were complicit. Into victims and women there, that is what you are saying. And you see, this is the premise. That argument now, this is what I want people to understand. Because some people were complicit, you know, it does not mean you rubbish the victims. Because some people were complicit, you don't rubbish the victims. I don't understand that level of thinking. And I'll never understand that level of thinking. Yes, some people were complicit. It does not rubbish the victims who were not complicit, who are even more than the people who were complicit. And that's the same thing we do in this country. Obi, any obi bakwa ko dili. Oni lipakunu ko dili wie. Nebia, nipakrono, obone krono, ye ko fane se nipakona bone krono na ebia nipakunu ko fane se oye ofri baby a. Yes yo sankrofo we. Onibakunu ye ko fane se ofri nkrania na o se ane ene me ni krani bi ekokoye adwuma na me ni ekoye adwuma no se bi owia mesika eno hunti enkranfo ni na ya akronfo nipa ko ne kasa asem na nyansa wom adwen wom. Is that not the same thing we are doing here? Because you have some people who are complicit, you are saying that the whole Africa, even the victims are womu, they don't deserve reparations? Is that what you are saying? Charlie, some of the arguments, yen tears you. Also, reacting to these criticisms at his presidential dialogue and civil society organizations, at his presidential dialogue with the civil society organizations, the president could not hide his displeasure about the criticisms, describing them as childish remarks by persons who may be seeking attention. Utumi hu ne say senia mekasa wa asem we so no senia de ne hye me no saa na Mahama nso hye no, because on the Mahama yobi a ya na nyama bi se o de ya asresem, but for him to even be speaking this, utumi sa hye ne say you have Ghanaians speaking that way. And that's the same thing with me. The way I'm speaking on this issue, eshime say Ghana ni ankasa de bie na no aka say dabi. Ade na abrofo no de omo ba be ye no, omo ndi bone bia ya na ye di bone no. Hey! Eshime rough, eshime say Ghana ni be kasa asem na trem. Eshime papa. Den kan dada mo. Ewura me mu rough. Hey! O pese mi bufu akasa, o frame na kasa asem ne trem. Hey! Matraya mo frame ya mo ne mi aye argument no mo be realize say mo kasa asem no mutumi hu ni say it got me off point, because matraya say eya na melodies the buzi have frame no mo kasa asem, especially mo abrochi no eya na matraya say oh I'll downplay it mebu me ni eguso, but asem we asem bia matraya say me ya emfa matraya say mebu me ni eguso emfa. Omo kasa asem no matraya so de anya hwemi mfi nanso wo frame na wo kasa asem no ka na ni rewra me obo se me bu afu me say ade try na hey Charlie easy Charlie ase we se me nya ho asem ka me bu befu dodo me nya obi a ya na me pese me bufu is ya melodies ebuso ni bi frame no oka say melodies mesre reparation ho asem na me pese me ka na maybe san say o ka say free he o say abrochi pe me ka say o de anya hwe me me pese anya hwe o de o ugidi bia o de is all of a tell you o de o pese ugidi bia gidi me who say that's the only way out, because the way this issue gets on my nerves no, the way it's getting on my nerves. It's a Ghana ni friend no support ya bro for now. The way it's getting on my nerves no. I think say I need to let go. Obi friend no osi oye we ya odi mema na nka na asem a odi de obe kan bia kan wi na maka so okay odi me da ase na wakati no. That's what I need to do. To me say Mahama of all people onunzo to me say ade na ewura no. Because for Mahama to be saying this, se mo amo kan sa ansem ni nyina no ensem amo kan ye nkolansem na mudi no utumu sa ahye no utumu sa ahye no pa se na obedi nkolansem wa sei inti o sei eye nkolansem na mudi na eye attention na musiki o sei a few of our people, I don't know whether for attention or popularity, criticized their achievements and tried to belittle it. And they made all kinds of infantile arguments. They say so, but Africans were involved. The crime was systematic. The ships that carried the slaves were insured by reputable insurance companies that are some of the richest in the world today because they profited from the slave trade. The ship owners made money. And then I'm a person Crawford here. Hey, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama obenyi ache. Utumi won say senya me meti ade na ase no. That line now dabi utumi won say dabi enye say senya meti ade. Senya His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ote ade na ase no. Sa line na me nso meti ase. Enye me meti ase no no afa no nti ase na me mafa. Senya no te ade na ase no. sa line na me nso me ti ase ntutu mu say ye ne ya shino Afenyo Markin mu nsem a wo mo ka o parliament no ewura no e mo ka say ye nkola nyama no mo ye no ye nkola de onti ase say ade we ya ba mu ni na mo be ma ye eniji aba no o dey forget about sikanimpo no. This is a ade bi a at least the pride be bro as bibini na wo be di nkola nsem say Mahama nsem a wo ka no tumu say ewura no. I see it was systematic. Abrofo no di omo ships na eba no. Omo aban companies akese wo ho insure ships no. Omo plan ye systematic say ade a wo ba be ye ni ye be fe before aba be ton omo e be ton omo di omo aba be ye yakayaka de di omo aba be ye di semi nkosi enwuma. It was systematic, it was planned, it was insured, they made money, they were coming to make profits from our people. And they came, and with whatever enticements our mo entice, say some of us, young Crawford, they were enticed with money, and they also gave in, they sold our people to them. But say ye kana obeka say because ye young Crawford na aton we ya nipa krono no the ship na bana we insure ship no what Mahama nzem waka nipa krono no the ship na free ho aba wa fa sa plan no ono ehye ni tirim so wo be ye yakayaka de afa plan aye ship I insure ship e de aba bedru ha e di sika hyem ato nipa no e de na akwa ya yakayaka de no ono de onya at fault ono no de enye ne fault eye bibini na ye di sika na entize no merchants no the bad nuts in us ono hunti the victims no they don't deserve reparation meboa. How will you even speak that way? And that's exactly what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is saying. So it was a systematic crime. If you're an African, how do you support this? How do you say but some of our people took part in it? You are just belittling it. Oh, kasate sa akola. You are not thinking into the issue. Mahama someone walk on. Or say, and listen to the important one. Reparations were paid to slave owners for letting the slaves go when they abolished the slave trade and said the slaves could go. They compensated the person who had enslaved somebody for loss of property. Abrofo no jai slave trade no. Omo aban tia wo mo a no mo own slaves neka. Mahama asemo a wo ka kire mo a mo say we don't deserve reparation no. Asemo a Mahama ka kire mo no. Say abrofo no omo ba beton ye wie ye, omo ba beton ye wie ye a omo de kokko ye yakayaka de. Omo ban slave trade no. Aban no omo aban no etia wo mo abrofo na no mo own slaves neka. Chia wo mo ka se mo de mo nje reparation. But bibini ne de ye man reparation ye. And then you have another black man bibini say we don't deserve reparation. Hey, me say mo na mo fasa anger ni na no. Argument amoye no. I hope say God will open your eyes and your mind to see the argument amoye. Na mo ankasa mo be realize say wait there, we are betraying our own people. Or see, when they abolished the slave trade and said the slaves could go, they compensated the person who had enslaved somebody for loss of property. As recently as 2015, compensation was paid to people for losing their slaves. Slavery is recognized as the gravest crime, and you say, oh, but Africans were involved. He fumed. So I was saying Mahama fumed. That is Mahama buefu. I see Mahama buefu, he fumed. A bronika so be fumia, ni buefu wega. Say 2015 2015. Musi o adiane de ache slave trade de ache ni yen forget it. 2015 abrofo no echia wo monkrofo ka. Say wo mo ana slave trade no omo oni e before na ye man slave trade ni twaye no omo hwiri sika nti ye tue omo reparation 2015 which is just 11 years ago. Abrofo ni tia reparations ma wo mo abrofo no Now, yeah, before you could seek for reparation, I'll say, but our own people were involved. You see, Mahama will draw off. One more cast asem no. Send any bua fumono. Mo ben uncle Simukoto. Mo ben uncle Simukoto. Ma mo be who say yes. The more ye no sebe, a young collagen and more drain. He added, this was a whole system. They built ships, and they built the ships with measurements to make sure that the cargo could take the maximum amount of slaves. And you tell me that you know Africans were involved, so we shouldn't talk about reparations. Some people just want to whittle down what happened. Me notices that Mahama Nibuefu say that. Me notices that Mahama Nibuefu say that. Also, President Mahama went on to describe some of the things that transpired during the slave trade, insisting that it was the gravest crime against humanity. Also, if you know what happened to the slaves, nothing compares to it in everything that has happened in this world. To the 15 million people who were sent away, those who died, I'll give you one example. A ship captain threw 134 slaves overboard to go and claim insurance because your ancestors were cargo. And so, if the ship lost cargo, there was insurance that compensated for the loss of cargo. And 134 slaves, he threw them overboard and went and filed an insurance claim for loss of cargo. The president touted the recognition of slavery as the gravest crime, saying that if for nothing at all, the souls of ancestors will be at rest. He laughed at the suggestion that because Africans were involved in the slavery trade, no person should be held responsible for it, likening the trade to genocide against Jews. Or see, in the record of the Holocaust, there were Jews who were prison guards. The Jews who pointed out where other Jews were hiding. And yet, the Holocaust is recognized as genocide and a crime against humanity. And you see, what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is saying is the truth. There's a saying here, now someone here can say, you say, Abu Bibeka wa no from to mem. Unim nintia. And Crofogidi say, Obian to me nyawon yo, a just say, Obia wo mu, e give you home up. Intitio. Mahama say, Moa moka say, e be before near can who be yani a tonya huntino, and yet abrofone fault no. Or see Jews for a more kwama mo say, or more kwama Jews for say, or more Holocaust no, and near the gravest crime na the end no. Or see Jews and Kasa Jews for Ankasa and near point your monkro for out the way munkunu into no so a denia beka. Mobeka say because Jews for Ankasa and a no much your one crow for Emma Satan the ye kumunintino. Not just a Jews for na ye kumuno, or moon deserve reparation biana. But they were given reparation. Muniamokai international writer Togo Nino Eleta na mebabe widi no on my history of Jew for the Yayabwa Jews for and the Ama Israel. You see, one of the reasons in here and the Africa and all the other countries, all the other European countries, na Israel who ba some person koko support you mono. Sa nyama nini na aka ho Holocaust ni nyama no reparations no ene nyama wo mo hyehye no nini na aka ho nti no omo pa wo mo mpeu. They have to help Israel, they have to help the Jews. And that ye ko mo jina wiase mu pa wo mo oni japade e wo sikapa wo wiase mu a obi eni wa watching Jew for. It was all part of the rebuilding, reparations now wo mu seeking no. It was all part of it. Ye mo opportunities e boa wo mo. But Jew for no and ran na wo mo Holocaust ni sia ye ku wo mo no. Omo ankasa wo mo nkrofo na eton wo mo homa asa nkrofo na ye ku wo mo no. Inti enu hu nti what say wo bi kasada. Say no hunti Jews for na ye ku omo no mo deserve reparations ana what is obi kasa asem da but e ba bi before yen kwan so a ne ya yen crofo asare say ya yen crofo na eton ye ho ma inti no we don't deserve reparation. Mahama say yen kola adwen yen kola nsem na mo ka mu di nkola nsem asem wa mo ka ne de yen infantile mo nwin ti say penyi mo dwen ti say nkola asem wa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo ka no. Me see, in the history of this world, share war, bibia, and crofwa, a yana ya abuse your money in Yamani nano. normally who said there is an insider. So because there is an insider, no, and you want us to say the person or your victim, no, and you can see you holding as victim because there was an insider. That is basically what you are saying. Basically, that's what you are saying. Oh, akola wo fie. Oye boni a ne mame bono. Ne papa bono. Osi because eya na ne mame bono ne papa bono ni nti no. Abontin su ni betumi afi abontin aba. No the second aba betwitwa akola ni free e kokan wo se ya na se akola no nya victim. Di nti a so no ana ne mame bono. Nti obi fi abontin ma no the second ba be wa akola na se ne no boni bi enim. Basically mo amo ye we na asemo amo ka no. Asemo amo ka no. See, in the record of the Holocaust, there were Jews who were prison guards. The Jews who pointed out where other Jews were hiding. And yet, the Holocaust is recognized as genocide and a crime against humanity. So why not the slave trade? Because some Africans were involved. It doesn't absolve those, because some Africans were involved, it doesn't absolve those who built the system and financed it. And basically that's what I'm also saying. Because there were few actors among us, and no interest o rabeshe abrofofo system, governmental system, our motina say planning, yes, a man be idea way. Because you had few actors in us. You don't rubbish that thing. And so we will call them out. I don't care what anybody says, we will call them out. I am the say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I am the pan say or kasa say or say on fan who you be abeka. On fan who you be abeka no de waka ne na waka. Waka na adwen. Tunu say bufu Mahama de kasa wa asem we. Da ebufu na bi. And I say abuara me nso mi mu no because men tiase. Anyway, won't try what your comment box we will see for me that say.